Piper?
So now I guess we'll officially start the meeting.
There you go. You're recording.
So we're recording. And I actually wrote it down to spotlight the demo, Mr. Piper.
All right.
Since whoever, and I don't know if any of you guys watched the video from the last, I guess it was the workshop. I forgot to spotlight myself when I did the demo. So all you guys, a little thumbnail of me doing the demo for that Saturday. So
And just so you know, the reason that none of us noticed it, because Ralph said nobody said anything, is because when I watch it, I go to speaker view. So when you're watching speaker view, you saw Ralph do the demo. So you wouldn't think to say, hey, are you recording? So that's why we didn't catch it. But I guess no one else.
So, all right. So we don't have any guests, just members tonight so far. Maybe some people will show up. Hard to say. The usual stuff with the AAW and I have not gotten any gift certificates yet from Craft Supply, so I think this week I will contact them. I don't want to be pushy about it, but we're almost out. I did get an email today as far as events. I got an email today from Michelle Street, who is the person that runs the Daring Seafood Festival. And the Seafood Festival has been postponed and has been rescheduled tentatively for October 24th of 2021. Okay, they had originally scheduled it for the regular date in March, but due to the increase in the Rona and I guess this new strain, they have decided to push it back to October of 2021. We'll keep everybody informed. And if I hear anything about any of the other events that we normally go to, of course, you'll be notified by email or at the meeting or both. And I guess that's pretty much it. Anybody got anything they want to add or any new business?
There's a what's her name? Dixie, what the
Dixie
Carver?
Biggs.
Yes, is I think tomorrow at
I sent emails to everybody about those events for Dixie Biggs and the other one.
Yes, she used to be the editor.
Yes, Betty Scarpino.
Yes,
I sent when I get those, I forward them to everybody, pretty much, depending on what they are. And I don't know. I know you AAW members are getting the emails from the AAW, but the non-members, I don't know how much when I forward those to you. I don't know how much of those you can see, or if they're locked out, to members only. But there's a lot of good information, and it's well worth the $60 membership for the year. Between the information they send out by email and the magazine that they send out, and hopefully if the live in-person symposium every year, which of course last year they didn't have, it was the virtual, which I thought was pretty good, especially for the price. At this point, they're planning to go ahead with the live symposium. Whether it's really going to happen is hard to say. This virus thing is just day by day, things change. So, that's the same situation with meeting at the school. I'm going to be contacting our new contact here this week, just to touch base with them. But the way things are going, I don't see us getting back into school anytime soon at all.
The first thing I want to do is I let it sit for a while, and I don't have a bowl to show you because the woman I got the wood for, I made a bowl for. I don't know if you can see this. This is the poinsettia, and with all the spalting. I don't know if you-
Poinciana.
Yeah, poinsettia, whatever. I'm from the west side.
Oh, well, the poinsettia is a little bitty Christmas tree bushes.
Yep, but you see here, it looks like a pattern. Looks like, if you look at it close enough on it, would look like a bird. But anyways, so that's spalting. So the first piece of wood, I cut off a limb, and it was wet, and I turned it. So this is what it looked like with no spalting. And it had some different shapes to it. When you turn it like this, it's really stringy. And almost, it reminds me of pieces of feathers that come out. But this is the poinsettia with no spalting. You can see all the different grain patterns in it. And after it sat for about 3, 4, 5 months, it was really punky, and there was a lot of spalting in it. And this one, I gave her the other one. This one didn't turn out as well because I'd go back and fix these spots here. You see where the rot was? I'd fill them with something, but I didn't. So Kay's going to use it for a flower pot. But the one thing I want to show you here, if you can see it, or maybe I can't see it. I don't know what it looks like to me here. What I'm pointing to, I don't know if you can see it. It looks like right there. I'm at the bottom of it. Can you see it? There we go. Turn around like this. There you go. It looks like a hand. Can you see that? Like someone's got a hand.
Yeah, I see the hand. Somebody giving somebody the finger.
No, that's not the index finger. It's your first finger.
No, that's the finger right there.
That's the finger you pick your nose with.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's different stages of poinsettia. You know, spalting or no spalting.
Paula, are you there?
That's crazy, the spalting.
Yep.
She left.
She left. She was asking me about poinsettia the other day, and I was hoping she would see that.
Oh, well, you have to look at the recording.
Yes. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I do. I was practicing cutting air the other day, and I was just wondering what was I going to do with it, and I figured it'd be just waste wood and just practice. But then all of a sudden, at the end, I decided to make it into a
Hold it lower.
The spotlight on Ralph?
into a bell.
Oh.
I was practicing cutting air, and just made it into a bell.
Very good. For who the bell tolls.
I taught junior high school for a lot of years, and you couldn't say cutting air.
Cutting air.
That was pretty cheesy, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And for Christmas, I got some Halloween tools. So I went to Hollow and I played, kind of looks sort of like an egg. I don't know what we'll call it later, what it is, but use some myelin finish on it. There we go. Everything big.
Got a hole in it.
Big hole in it. And the sides also got some cracks because it's a crotch piece of tropical almond, so it has some nice green flowing around it.
Did any of the colors stay with it? When you first cut it, you see some yellow, blue, green, but it doesn't look like any of the colors stayed there.
No, it was very pink.
Pink?
Very pink all the way through. I got the limb from my neighbor's trash pile probably at the beginning of the pandemic, somewhere around there. And Christmas this year were a whole bunch of snowmen, all shapes, sizes, and stuff like that. This is actually some laminated cedar planks, so you can see the different layers of it there. Just a whole bunch of these I made and gave out for Christmas. That's
Very
it.
good.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, I got something. Hello.
Oh,
So what I got here is a little ornament that I made. So this is a little piece of spalted scrap. That I think this little base is mahogany, and I've seen them with little chains or something, but I used toothpicks on it. So in order to, and it is hollow, so I turned it and then drilled a 1-inch hole and then hollowed it out. So I used toothpicks up here. In order to line it up, I turned a little ring here and put the ring down on, held it on the base, and then drilled the 4 holes, then stuck the toothpicks in and slid the ring up and glued it in place. That made it a whole lot easier rather than to try to drill into this piece and fit it. It was a whole lot easier fitting it in. So that's what I did.
they can fly away now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh. Hey Ralph, I have some pens that I've been turning to show.
Well, let's see them.
So after the resin demo, I started experimenting with some of the resin scraps I had, and I was been turning some pens. And this is like hybrid scraps from other turnings. And as you can tell, it looks like, ocean or blue, but it has white underneath. I had to paint the tube, and this is kind of like what we were talking about last time, how important it is to paint either the barrel inside the blank or the brass tubing.
Right.
So you don't have anything peek through with resin. And also I've been using up some of the scraps of skateboard wood that I have, making these laminated skateboard pens. So I've done 2 orientations. I did basically this orientation where it's long ways, I guess, like the skateboard would normally travel.
Right.
And then these that are stacked. This one was really cool because it was pre-laminated from where I got them. So it has like a nice little angle going through it. And the skateboard, I guess it's the orientation of the grain, has a little bit of chatoyance in the reflection. It's kind of hard to translate through this camera.
Right.
But it's pretty neat. It's just some slimline pens that I've been messing with and making. Dave has been helping me with the pen turning. And I've been making like little keychains and stuff out of scrapped resin that I have left over. So that way nothing is wasted from the castings.
Mm-hmm. How about your beer can crusher? You were going to show us that.
Oh yeah, the tip about the pen assembly tool. So I can go get it, but just to give you a little explainer. So I've been using the Milescraft pen assembly tool. But instead of setting it up like they sort of tell you in the instructions, I've been setting it up vertically. So when you go to assemble your pen, instead of worrying about your thing sliding around the table or clamping it down, or having to hold it with 2 hands, you can align it visually from both sides without, struggling, and you just pull your handle straight down. So the leverage is more natural. Yeah, more like the way gravity works. So I've been messing with that. I could go grab it from the shop while somebody else shows off what they got, and then I'll show you guys the way it looks.
Yeah.
It's basically this tool from them. You can kind of see it there. But again, normally it's used in this orientation. And I look at these guys on YouTube struggling with it. I'm like, this has got to be a better way to do it. So I had a board already hanging on the wall from another tool that I kind of took off. And you're basically, all you're doing is this maneuver. And it's almost no effort whatsoever. And you're able to really line up everything by eye perfectly. I have a commission to do like 15 pens. So I was like, I got to find the fastest way to do it. So that's the reason I went this route.
Very good. You've come a long way, Ozzy, from that first workshop that you came to and showed you how to make something. Yep.
Yeah, well, thanks to all the help, especially from Dave and Ralph and all of you in the club. I've gotten a lot of help, even from some that might not know, because I watched all the YouTube videos from before I joined the club to get tips and stuff.
But back to painting the tubes again. Another way I've seen people do it, I found it easier to paint the tube, is they take a cotton ear swab, and they put paint on that, and they just put that in the barrel, the blank, instead of the tube. So it's either way. You can either do the tube or just do the inside of the blank.
Anybody else? All right, well, I got a couple of little things. You saw the little single note whistles that I made. I made a bunch of different ones, different shapes. These are made out of some maple that I had, maple or sycamore, I'm not sure. It was from an actual cutting board I took out of a house in the Gables that was built back in the 30s. They used to have slide-in cutting boards underneath the countertop. So then I've got another thing here, which I had a student come by for some turning lessons, and it kind of turned out that she wanted me to make something for her. So she gave me this drawing, and it's kind of crazy looking on the drawing. It's a picture of something. Well, it's very strange looking at the top. It almost looks like some kind of animal with these bulging eyes, but it's actually a lid, and it has 4 balls recessed into the lid. So from the top, it looks, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. It looked kind of like that from the top. Okay, so I got started on it, and this is the actual piece. Okay. And the lid comes off, and what I've got to do now is turn 4 recesses off center to hold the 4 balls. I started making the balls today, which I just did by hand. So they're not perfect. And these, I've got to that one's kind of eggy shape until I straighten it out between centers. And those will go into recesses up in here. And I don't know if I'm going to have to pin them or glue them or exactly how this thing's going to work. But, and then I sent the lady a text this afternoon showing her where I had gotten so far, and she sent me a text back saying, let me see what she says here. She says, "Oh, good. I have blueprints for different sizes for you to make." I'm like, "Oh, great. Just what I wanted to do." So we're going to have to discuss some finances here. So that's pretty much all I've got to show. I don't know I think it did end up, I don't know if it ended up on the Guild Facebook or not. Tiffany came by the other day, and we made a salt box. You saw it, right, Brian?
Yeah, it was there.
Okay.
It was out there somewhere.
That's a nice little project to make with a swivel lid. I've got magnets on order. So that'll be a project down the road that we may end up doing a demo on, depending on.
Is that rare earth magnets?
Yes.
Are you using the magnets as hinges?
I didn't on this one. I did see a video of a guy using the magnet for the actual hinge.
Mm.
Uh,
I did a two-tiered version of one, and I did that with magnets. And the person I gave it to was my nephew, who was really into cooking. He actually got it to open all three, the lid and the two sections, and stay with the magnets.
Okay.
And like he would open it, and all three things were open. It was the coolest thing. I didn't think it would work that way, but it's a neat idea to use the magnets as hinges.
Which magnets did you get? The ones that are magnetic longitudinally, or?
I'll be honest, I got I think they're 1/4 inch rare earth magnets from Amazon. They were nothing. I didn't even pay attention to which way they.
Oh, which way the polarity was?
Yeah, I didn't. What I did is to sort of line up the holes. Is I use those little. You use them for cabinet making when you want to line up dowels on shelves and stuff like that. They look like little spikes that you put in the hole you drill.
Right.
So I would drill the hole on the first one, put the little spike in, line everything up, hammer it in, and that would transfer the hole all the way up. And then I just stacked the magnets. I did double them. I put in each level there was 4 magnets.
Okay.
I have a picture, but if not, I could share it later. It looks pretty neat. I was very surprised how it came out.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was neat.
Sounds like a possible demo in the future.
Yeah, I could do it. I made it out of a giant block of sapelli.
Okay.
It was pretty neat.
Well, the one that we did was used. I used a brass pin, which is a brazing rod for the hinge, and then we're going to use a magnet to keep it closed. And of course, we just the easiest way to get everything to line up properly is just drill all the way through.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if anybody noticed if they looked at the picture good, where the magnet is going to go. What we did is we put a plug of a contrasting wood in the top to cover the hole, and that also tells you where the magnet is.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, it was a smaller hole too, wasn't it? One was smaller than the other.
right, the actual hinge was this diameter of the brazing rod, which is 3/32.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did is that the brazing rod, and this wasn't intentional, but it would be in the future, is the melted end kind of has a little bit of a ball effect to it. When you stop using it for brazing, it has a little bit of a ball on the end,
Mm-hmm.
which is a little bit larger in diameter. So you gently tap it in, and then you place your lid back in place, get everything lined up, and then you finish sanding the whole top of the lid. And of course, that sands it down flush, and it gives you a nice little brass dot. You could use a larger diameter one if you wanted. The one guy that I saw used the magnet for the hinge, he drilled all the way through, of course, to get his lined up, but he did it with a pilot bit with a 16th inch drill bit. And you could, you could just take a drop of CA and a little bit of sawdust and stick it in that hole, and you'd never see the darn thing from the top if you didn't want to see it. And what he did is he got a long magnet. It was 1/4 inch diameter by, I'm not sure how long the actual magnet was, but he made the magnet extend down from the lid where it went into the hole in the body of the box. And then he had a magnet down below that, even deeper in the box. So, but I haven't been able to find that video for some reason. I saw the one, and I haven't found that exact one. Been able to, for some reason, it won't come back up. But there's a whole bunch of different videos on making salt boxes. But that's what they call them. You don't have to use them for salt. You can use them for whatever you want. That's just a swivel lid box.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if the rest of you are aware, but if an Ozzy's picture, if you look and put that picture back up, Ozzy, if you would, you see the 3 dots to the right of Ozzy? If you select that, you'll see pin video. And what it'll do is it'll bring that picture right to you, unless Ralph has got it on spotlighting.
Yeah, I put it on spotlight.
Okay.
Now I can't hear you. Was there something wrong with are you muted?
Oh, sorry, I had my microphone off. Sorry about that. What I meant to say is, I found the picture. So the magnets I did not cover up because they're not really visible until you open it. But
Right.
you could do what you were saying. But see how I didn't think you could get it to balance like the way he did it. And what he's like a amateur chef, I guess. So what he would do is put salt and then like some sort of other seasoning on top.
Okay.
And I didn't put a lip on the boxes. I did put a lip on the lid. So when it goes in, it would line up in there instead of sort of sliding around.
Okay.
Phone turned off. But this was my first time was trying to make an attempt to do that. But like I said, I just used regular magnets. And I didn't drill all the way through. I lined everything up with those the little spikes.
Right. Well, as long as you get it lined up, but lining that stuff up can be a pain in the neck. So, there's ways around it.
And you have to make sure your polarity is right on the magnet.
That's before you glue them.
Yeah. So I learned a trick with that. Is what I would do is I wanted to keep the magnets together, so I would put a piece of tape in between the 2 magnets and let them magnetize. So then I could glue one in to one side. The glue wouldn't stick to the other magnet, and then I could take the tape off, or I could leave the tape on and glue it to the other. And basically, the magnets would stay together, and the glue wouldn't stick them together permanently, or dirty the thing. I mean, you could sand it or whatever, but that's how I kept them from doing anything weird on me and screwing up the polarity.
You can also get black magnets.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a where I've got magnets on order. Tiffany wanted to make a few more boxes, and I want to make a few more. So I ordered some magnets, and when I was on there's a company called K&J Magnetic or Magnets. And as I was looking through the catalog online, I'm like, oh, they have these in black nickel instead of the regular nickel plate. These are black nickel. So I said, well, that ought to be just right for a dark wood. So I ordered some of those, and they're not. I ordered 40 magnets, and it was like under $18.
That's really good to know. What was the company called again?
K&J.
K&J. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to it.
Yeah, I use magnets on my bottle openers that I turned that look like hockey pucks. I don't know. Yes, you guys have seen it. It was the first thing I ever turned that when I went to the club that I showed off. So it keeps the cap in, and you can attach it to the fridge. Okay. And that would actually be really cool to have a sort of magnet that's less visible, for that, something like that.
Yeah, they've got a good website. They've got different strength ones too, different strength magnets. So I'll when I send the link out for the YouTube for this video that we're making tonight, I'll include that website for them.
Thank you very much.
So anybody got anything else? Or if somebody wants to, whatever, or I'll do something. So,
I would like to see how you do the holes for the little balls on that lid of that art project you're working on.
yeah, I'm thinking of a couple of different ways to do it because I'm not sure if I want to go. I'm not sure. I've got to think about this. I'm not sure if I want to go straight in or if I want to come in at an angle.
Yeah.
So, and of course, obviously they're offset, equal spaced around the thing. So, if I come straight in from the top, like straight down, I can do that on the drill press. Depending on how big the hole needs to be. It needs to be obviously a hemisphere.
You use a round router bit? Huh?
Yeah, a box. What the hell do they call it? A box code bit or
Or
something
box
like that.
bit, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have the right size. That's the problem. These balls are going to be about 1.25 inches in diameter. So, the other option would be, and I can do it either way. Whether I came straight in or if I came in an angle, if I could use that donut chuck that I made last Saturday workshop. I could use the donut chuck and mount this lid in there, obviously off center, and I'd have to make a shim, okay, for the
bottom.
For the bottom to sit in at an angle. So I'd have to sit in there at an angle so that wherever my place is of course coming straight into the tailstock, and then I'd have to be able to rotate it all the way around to get the right spacing. It's going to be a little tricky. So
sorry.
What if you see you've got a tenon on the bottom of that? What if you cut a wedge and drilled a hole in it the size of that tenon, then put it on your drill press and just spin it around to the 4 different positions?
Well, that's exactly what has to be done. If I can drill it on the drill press and get an appropriate hole, otherwise I'll have to turn it, just like turn a hemisphere in there, just like Igor did with the inside of the air chamber there, or turn it in, just like you do on a salt box. That's the one thing about these salt boxes. I don't know if anybody noticed that you don't make a straight straight wall with a flat bottom like a regular box. You want a hemisphere box. That way the stuff goes to the center when you go to pick it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, it needs to pretty closely match the radius of this ball unless I glue these in.
Another way you could do it is if you took a spade bit and ground it to the shape of those balls.
Yep.
And then use that to, cut your hollow in there.
Yeah, that would
That's a
work
great
too.
idea.
Just make a dedicated bit, which would be the same thing as a router bit, but a lot cheaper.
Yeah, that would be a lot cheaper. That's a genius idea.
Good idea, David. Thank you.
You know what that reminds me of? That picture you showed, similar to one of them furniture table legs that looks like it's a claw grabbing a ball. Yeah.
Oh, that
or
okay.
Even something like out of Green and Green furniture, which is
Right.
which they have a bunch of
Ball and
stuff
claw.
looks normal, but they have
Ball and
weird
claw
stuff.
is what it's called.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. It's very cool looking, very 70s. I'm not calling anybody old. I'm just saying.
I was told by the woman that brought me this picture that this is supposedly, this thing was made out of, this is from Colombia, and it's made out of gold, and it's for some kind of ritual doing with cocaine.